Report accepted. Okay, that takes care of our committee reports. So now I think we can go on to old business, which there is only a couple things in old business. The attorney is now, the Jean's property that's now being handled by our attorney to collect the rent to pay what is owed the association plus the attorney fees. So they have contacted the owner of that property. So far it was sent out, I think, just the beginning of January. So we should probably see their rent at some point in February. And the other old business, that both letters were sent for non-renewal of the lease. I don't think there is any more old business, so why don't we just go into new business?
Why don't you find out?
Oh yes, I see two new faces out here today. Perhaps they're new to the community. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm George Smith, my wife Carol Smith, 4104 Don in Holly.
Nice to have you. Welcome to Meadowbrook.
Thank you.
Anybody else new out here that we don't? Okay. Okay, then we will move into new business. Okay, I believe Sarah already read the response that we got today from the letter we received from a homeowner about the debris that was left out and whatever. So that was that. And the next order of new business is we did receive something from Marlene Rodak. This was I don't know what else to call it, I'll just say a ride around with Marlene. And it was audio and video. And it was done on Tuesday the 11th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And Marlene says she drove around and found exactly 20 garage doors open without vehicles ingressing or egressing. These are clearly violations of the documents the board mentioned during the last board meeting about John and Eileen Tucker's tenant committing this violation, so they must be sending letters on it. Would you like the photos and addresses? At which time the management company said, yes, please send them. Okay, well, my question is, we do have them, and did you able to get that on your?
The video?
Yeah.
I would have to have internet here.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, if anybody's interested, you can see this. But the video was approximately 9 minutes, 6 seconds long. But what my question is, what is the intent? Marlene, what was the intent of this?
Is that a violation of our documents?
Okay, but you did all this and you listed all these things. Well, what was the intent of sending it to us? What did you want us to do with this?
Is that a violation of our documents?
So in other words, are you telling us that this is a formal complaint, correct?
I'm just pointing out that I drove around the block and I saw these things, and if you're going to point out certain homeowners with an open garage door, are you pointing out all of them?
Well, what I don't understand is how in 9 minutes you could ride around, and if you watched your tape, I mean, you rode around once, the door was closed, you rode around again and it was open. The other two of them had work trucks in front of there, but I don't know what you want us to do with this. I mean, either for us to send this to the CEC, you either have to tell us you're filing a formal complaint, or I don't know what you want us to do with it.
Is it against the documents?
George,
Is it a violation?
I just like to say something, because I dealt with this with you last year, all right? There's a thing called reasonable enjoyment and use of the property, okay? And that's throughout the documents, throughout the state statutes, reasonable use and enjoyment of the property. You're trying to say that we're being discriminatory against some particular party. There's also stuff in the state statutes about third parties getting involved when there's a discrepancy between a particular homeowner or a renter and the HOA. All right, and you could be getting yourself in a lot of trouble with that. And it's happened in
Are we
the
talking
state
about the
statute. This is
video?
mentioned. Let me just say something. Okay, if you look at the way it's written in the documents, not everything is exactly reasonable just the way it's written. Okay, there's times when you take the garbage pail out of your garage, you got to keep the garbage in the garage. You have to open the door to take your garbage out without the vehicle being moved. So in a sense, isn't that a violation? You open the door and you're not backing the car out, okay? Or you're working in the garage, or whatever you're doing in the garage. There's nothing in there that suggests a time limit between when you must get in your car once you enter your garage and back it out, or when you have to put it back. Okay? All of these things are based on reasonable use and enjoyment of the property. If you're out landscaping and you're coming in and out of the garage, there's no reason why the board has to go after somebody because they have the garage door open based on that. Okay? And the board knows that, and any HOA knows that if it's in the best interest of the homeowners in their entirety, that it may not be necessary to take any action. And so these situations where there is something where the door is, it's mentioned that the door is open, that's one of several items. And you're holding on to the semantics as you usually do. And, you know, trying to be on a board and trying to run a peaceful association, a lot more than just semantics. And I think you ought to think about that a little bit. And that's about all I got on that.
Let me just say one more thing. It was a little biased. I did not see you go down Dunham Holly, and I believe that's your street.
There weren't any.
I beg your pardon?
There weren't any.
I beg your pardon?
There weren't any. There were no open garage doors on Dahoon Holly. None. Zero.
Well, then why wouldn't you film it? You filmed every other garage door that was
Because I
closed.
have to parse it down to under 10 minutes to get it onto YouTube.
Oh. Sorry, I can't swallow that.
Can I say one other thing? Another thing you do, the public has access to these videos, right? Okay, you mentioned my name twice and my address, okay? You could be putting my family in potential danger with your video. And I want you to think about that too.
Was this video sent to anybody else in here? You mentioned the Tucker incident.
I have
Did
no
you
idea.
send that to them?
I have no idea.
I beg your
I'll have to
pardon?
go back and look at my logs.
I can't hear you.
I'll have to go back and look. I don't know.
You don't know if you sent a copy of this to the Tuckers?
Are there copies? Are there carbon copies on it? On the CC?
No. I'm asking you if you sent this video.
I'll have to go back and look. I don't know.
I hope you didn't, because I'll tell you, if there's any violence to any of these people because of what you've done, hang on to your hat.
Don't threaten me, Georgia.
George, I want to say something. I've been on a covenants committee many times, many years. And when we find a violation, one day, we don't yap about it. We keep checking every 2 or 3 days, 4 days. When you're in violation 5, 6, 7 times, now you're going to get a letter. You're not going to get a letter just because we see the garage door open one time. You have to keep going back, checking it, make sure you're in violation a few times before we do any action on it. So this one time don't mean anything.
I'll do them weekly.
One day don't mean nothing.
I'll do them weekly.
Well, enough of this. And as far as I'm concerned, this is biased. Everybody's street was covered except Dunhoon Holly, and 9 minutes of running around does not a complaint make. And if these same people are in violation and you wish to send us another complaint, then we certainly will look into it. Otherwise, thank you for your time. Next order of business.
Georgia, under new business, I'd like to have permission to have a garage sale on March the 5th, 2011, Saturday.
March the 5th?
Okay, is that
Just your